Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it. Medeiros,
They're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly, Miller's still start dropping. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry!
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you may be in the world, and welcome to Pays de la Loire, Le Mans in France for round number 7 of the Porsche Cup Challenge Americas. With me in the commentary booth today, once again, will be Daan Biggles, and I am happy to be back for the Porsche Cup Challenge. I've missed this series so much. And we're at Le Mans, the big circuit, Circuit de la Sarthe, is what it's called in its full name, and well, it is about 13.629 kilometers long for the Americans under us, which we'll have a lot of this evening. That is 8.469 miles. It has about 38 corners in total, so a lot more than your usual circuit, and it opens all the way back in 1923. Quickest lap time around this track, a 3 minute 17.297 by Mike Conway in the Toyota TS050 Hybrid 2019 LMP1 during the qualifying of the 24 hours of Le Mans. Biggles, I'm excited. Welcome in.
Welcome, yes, of course. I'm excited to be here in Le Mans. I'm not going to try to pronounce the French version of that Dan did perfectly. It's a great track, of course, and don't forget it's sponsored by it's Blackout Electrical. That's based in Brisbane, Australia, serving southeast Queensland. Electricians specialising in commercial and industrial renovations, fit outs, power systems, analysis, switchboard operations, and all that jazz. So, exactly, getting the lights on, essentially, for wherever you need. And we're actually excited as well, too, to have a little bit of a special guest in here for a bit of a yarn before he goes qualifying, or as he's going on qualifying.
Yeah, we did. Michael, welcome in.
Michael.
The owner of the league, for the people who don't know. Yeah. And he's the man behind it all.
Yeah, hey, how's it going? Good to be in the booth, I guess, for the very beginning. Driving while talking, I guess, a little bit. But hopefully you're not watching me right now. But yeah, I thought I'd join you guys and just maybe even say a little history of the league, how we started and all that as we go.
Yeah, why not? First of all, my first question for you is, how are you finding this season? Because so far we've had an amazing battle in the Americas and in the Global Series too. So it's been an amazing season so far from a viewer's perspective. How is it for you?
It's really, really exciting to be on the track for me. The first three was a season 4. The first 2 seasons, I ended up broadcasting the league instead of driving it, so it's really exciting to actually be in the car and with all the people that I was talking about every single race, and it's really exciting to test my skills against all the people that I watched for basically half of a year. So that's really, really exciting to see where I place within all of that.
For sure.
I got a question for you, Michael. We show your livery at the moment, the KY Jellyfish. Is there a specific reason why you chose this livery? I like the livery.
I'm not very good at... So, because I'm married and have a full-time job and a kid, and my wife is pregnant now, and so I'm trying to take care of a lot on top of a league that has to be managed, 2 leagues really, and so I don't have a lot of time. And so this livery, actually, any of the liveries, I didn't make any of them. I never make any of them. And I didn't make any of them. So this one was all created by Charlie Pouyer, who's my teammate. Sorry, my wife was just hand signing me.
No, you're right. Go ahead.
That's the dad life here.
Say hi to your wife out there, of course. Say everybody say hi to Michael's wife. Hello, hello. Because behind every great man is an even greater woman, as we all know.
Exactly. Thanks for the recovery on for me there. Sorry, but yeah. So I spend more time driving than doing anything else. I really try not to waste too much time on those things because I really only get about 1 to 1.5 hours to practice every single week. So yeah, the paint scheme, everything was chosen by Charlie. He made it, he made the team, he did all of that, and I was like, you know, I'll just, whatever you say, let's go with it.
Excellent.
I thought it was funny, and so yeah.
And we're round 7 of this, so how far do you think the season's progressed in compared to the other seasons in the past, now that you've actually got a chance to race? And once again, with your very busy schedule, it seems like you're managing quite a fantastic league here, balancing your regular life.
Yeah, well, it's really interesting because the league has actually really evolved from that first season, and the rule set and just the way that we do the Pro-Am divisions and everything. The very first season we didn't have a Pro and an Am, and I think it was one of our blockbuster decisions in a way to bring that in, because it gives people in the middle of the field something to fight for, something to aim for, you know? And so that was a huge moment for us. And then a whole bunch of people joined that in second season that brought their friends. And when it filled out the field front to back, we started getting 30 cars. And it really started popping off from there to have like 30 cars, 25 cars. And people just started talking, and away we went.
Excellent. Well, you're driving at the moment. Is it possibility at all would be for us to ride on board with you? Would you give us a hot lap around here, Michael? You said you used to do some broadcasting, casting in the past. How do you think you're going to handle that whilst driving the car? It's up to you if you want to do it. Otherwise, Dan would be happy to do it. But it's up to you, my friend.
Well, we can do a little bit of both. I mean, these straights are so long, you can have a cup of tea, a biscuit, and maybe have a nap.
Drive through the KFC. Yeah. That's to the right-hand side as well, too. There is a KFC there, so...
Yeah, just pass that.
James would be happy if you pick him up some food. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the cast. But go ahead, Michael. Yeah, straight away, Nate. Get ready for your breaking point now.
So I'm in the breaking point, and these chicanes basically mirror each other. One is starting to the left and one starting to the right. And yeah, it's pretty simple in that way. You just try and get the best exit you can in third gear. Try not to scrub too much speed, just the right amount. Brake too hard and you're actually going to lose a lot more time than you want. And I'm now coming up on one of the tighter right-hand corners. If you hit those green cones, you're going to get that slowdown, that real nasty slowdown. This track is filled with slowdowns.
Yeah, we can actually hear your gear shifts going off, which is fine because it actually adds to the as to knowing when you're shifting. Yeah, go ahead.
And coming down this long straight, I don't actually know the corner name, so I'm gonna have to rely on Dan for that.
You're coming up to Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, okay. This one, it's a little funky corner. You don't want to lose too much speed. There you go. I'm not gonna have a very good qualifying lap, so this is the broadcaster curse at work. But another tight right-hand turn here for me.
Slowest corner on the track.
So the other one would be the second slowest, I guess. This would be the slowest. Very painful to go from such high speed to all of a sudden very, very slow. And this corner, I think it's a gear 4 corner. It seems about right. You want to go on the throttle as soon as you can. You can actually power all the way through, out to this blue wall. Just a slight brake, back on full throttle. Just drag the brake, just slight drag the brake. Full throttle and fourth, early brake to make this apex here and get the better exit all the way down to the final funky chicanes. And I think I'm going to leave this, or at least stop talking. So I can focus on my second lap.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to say that's fantastic. I'll let you go through that. You get that perfectly. I'd have to say get on the power there. We'll let Michael go. Thank you very much for a hot lap. And that's one hot lap for Michael so he can concentrate on his second and probably final lap that he can probably do. So thank you very much for that.
401, it says I'm full. I'm doubtful.
You still are at the moment. So as timing start kicking in, not too bad there, considering you know you're going to have a lot more time. definitely some of the drivers will be in the 3s.
Well, Biggles, this man, Alexander Reid, we're going to take a lap on board around the full track. He's been quickest so far in section number 3, 4 and 5 across the line for Alexander Reid. And he will pop himself up into P1 at 358.525. Not too far off what the GT3s are doing here into the first corner. This is good of a Dunlop into the Dunlop chicane at the top of the hill. Then we're dropping down once again after we've gone beneath or underneath the Dunlop bridge through the Dunlop S's into Chapel, as they call it on Circuit de la Sarthe, then into one of the most difficult corners, the easiest one to pick up an off-track, Tetre Rouge. Not too far to the inside, not too far to the outside. He left a lot of room there on the outside, so did he on the inside. Not completely on edge there, but the gap he has to P2 is 1.7 seconds so far, all the way over to the right-hand side on the bumpy stuff, Biggles. That's not where you want to be if you're going to drive an endurance race around here, because that's going to wear the car out. Not an endurance race here this evening. 2 shorter sprint races all the way over to the left-hand side for the first of the 2 chicanes on this Mulsanne straight. Hit the curb on the right-hand side. It hooks you into the corner pretty nicely, drags you around that corner, and now he can slow down again. And he can look to his right-hand side where the KFC was. We've actually passed that on the first Mulsanne straight. And you can get hungry, you can smell all the people on the side of the track with their barbecues and their nice food, but you have to prepare for your second chicane again. Brake at around the 100-meter board. It hooks you in nicely again. Didn't take that second curb on the inside as well as he might have wanted. Left a lot of room there to the inside. Didn't quite hook him in as nicely as it did in that first chicane. And now he takes his time again. It looks like Beckham, meanwhile, is quickest in the amateur division. He's 4th overall at the moment. Now in to Mulsanne corner. Brake just before the little kink. Stay off those green bollards, because like Michael already said, it is so easy to just pick up that off track there. He didn't do that. He still has his lap counting so far. Now another straight, one of the 4 straights here, one of the last bigger straights. We go straight into Indianapolis. Very easy to make a mistake here in the race, especially on cold tires. Tires pretty much up to temperature now for the drivers. Easy to lose it on the first part here. Then one of the slower parts here through the left-hand side. Then through Arnage, the right-hander, slowest corner on the track. Get down to about 108, 110 kilometers an hour. Well, that is in miles an hour. About 80, I would say. About 80, 85 miles an hour. We've had the slowest corner on the track into the Porsche curves. Such a great complex that is. Such a great complex corner. Even Michael himself didn't know if this was a 4-gear corner. I know for sure it is for Alexander Reid. Oh, a little bit of a touch of the wall there on the outside. He is going to continue, but you can see what that did to the right front of the car. It is so easy to do that, and actually a great example of how easy it is to just understeer wide. We've had the Porsche curves now into the 4 chicanes, which is the last difficult bit to complete this lap, all the way over to the right hand side into the pit entry to open up the 4 chicanes as much as possible. Almost very close to a slowdown there. Completes that nicely. Alexander Reid not happy with what he did, and he ends that off in style. But that could have been a very quick lap if it was not for that little bit of a wall touch there, Biggles.
Yeah, it takes especially such a long lap there. It's concentration for the amount of corners that you said again. Can you repeat that? How many corners there,
38 corners in total.
38 corners, yeah. I'm just so used to Nordschleife as well too, which is about 100 and something, isn't it? it's quite a bit.
Yeah, that's even more than this. Corey Lazarus just standing there. In the AM division, it is JC in P8 at the moment. Beckham. Very famous name that is.
Beckham?
Yes.
Beckham. Well, just to update that, Beckham is the teammate there of Ayden Young. So he's joined the Fiercely Forward team this evening. It'll show Florida on there, but he's actually with the Fiercely Forward. So both those drivers as well, too. Well, Beckham and Ayden will be lining up on 8th and 9th, it seems, on the grid, too.
You know what they say, Biggles? The first person you want to defeat is your teammate. And, well, Ayden Young is behind Beckham. And, well, his first race with us here, Biggles, and immediately in front of your teammate. That's a good one to make a statement. Let's take a look at how the drivers will be lining up. Let's take a look at the grid. At how the drivers will line up. Xander Reed in P1, ahead of Jordan Malcolm in P2, Jerry Middleton in P3, Alex White in P4, Ariel Julian in P5, P6 for Corey Lazarus, Michael in P7, P8 for Beckham, the first one of the AM drivers, Ayden Young P9, Dan Moreira P10, Adam Schmidt in P11 and P12 for Jonathan DeCusher, P13 for Anthony Robertson, Colby Warren in 14, Shannon Monteral in P15, 16 Rob Rodriguez, Noel Hanna in P17, and 18 for Hayden Bush. Gary Watson in P19 and Samuel Sproul in 20th. Michael Carrillo in P21 had Charlie Pouillet in P22, P23 for Jeffrey Seabock, and Emmanuel Oyo in P24. Rounding off the grid is Stefan Hassett, Calvin Ross, and Armand Brusso in P27. 27 drivers with us at the moment here, Biggles. It's got to be a great one.
It will absolutely be a great one because it's all about not many laps that you're going to be doing overall. So you have to seize the opportunity. Straight line speed's going to be the key. How everybody has tweaked their car really the other day, isn't it, Dan? How much tweaking can you do to your car? You know that the cars themselves don't have all the fancy gizmos of the ABS, brakes, traction control, and all that sort of launch control.
Yeah.
So they've just got to make it work there. But yeah, overall, how much can you tweak these cars really for your downforce, for your top speed?
Downforce, not really a lot. It's really the rear wing that, well, decides that, and the height of the car. But some drivers will be running a lot of rake in this car, which will help with the front and the rear stability. The 5 red lights are going to be coming onto the gantry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Alexander Reed, who starts from pole position ahead of Jordan Malcolm. Immediately, Jordan Malcolm drops down to P3. Jeremy Middleton, who has a great start compared to Jordan Malcolm. And it's 27 cars hurtling down to the Dunlop chicane. Are we all going to get through cleanly? Alexander Reed did at the front of the field. A little bit further back, there the two teammates. Corey Lazarus, Beckham, and Jason Ayden Young. Beckham still ahead of Ayden Young so far. But all 27 drivers so far, Biggles, have gone through turn 1 cleanly.
Yeah, Jeremy Little, because Twisted Racing gaining one position gain from Michael McLeod too after he sacrificed one hot lap to have a yarn with this. And Jonathan, the 139 car, in P10 up 2. So the Canadians gaining a couple here. It's good to see everybody is cleanly through. I think maybe just we have had an accident there from Russo, who's right at the back of the field, I believe, and had a little bit of a moment. He's jumped into pit rotor 2. So that must have been a high impact collision. But we'll go back and have a look at that in a minute. You want to see how they handle this straight line speed here. Excellent loud pedal, of course, adds just exactly what Michael's going to run here as well, too, so keep an eye on that. Cheers next to Ariel Julian, I believe it is. He's going to go.
Oh, he's wide into the wall.
That one straight through, so there it is. So that's Ariel Julian leads a couple of places now, too, to the Fiercely Forward team, and then even Adam Schmidt. So just like that one little mistake on one corner, and you dropped a couple of places. It's like a 1959 stock exchange.
Well, that's not what the
29
drivers
stock exchange, not 59. Sorry.
It happens to the best
here
of
we
us,
go.
Biggles.
Another run, I think, as well, too, for Michael. He smells
on
blood
it.
in the water.
He's on it. He's now up to P6. He's getting the positions from where he started, but he's behind Beckham now. He's going to try and make that pass work. Meanwhile, though, Sandy, even though with that slipstream, a 1.2 second gap, and 1.6 seconds is really where that slipstream starts to, well, not take into effect anymore for the driver behind. Behind, though, it's Jamie Milton. I think that was Alex White, who's gone straight up into the barrier, and that is so easy to do if you lock up going into Mulsanne corner. And that, instead of P4 for Alex White, is now all the way down to P22 with big damage to the front of that Porsche. That Porsche Biggles is not going to like that. The front of the Porsche is where all the cooling, the radiator and everything is. So he might well have some overheating problems come the end of this race. We're expecting about 5 laps.
Or do you think it's going to be an overheating issue? Really?
Yeah, could be. Because the radiator is at the front, and if the radiator doesn't get enough, driving wind into it, then you might have some overheating problems of the engine. Let's hope, however, that that is not the case for White, but
keep an
it
eye
could
on
happen
Samuel.
here.
Samuel and Anthony just made an overtake, so the Blackout Motorsports New Zealander got the job done. That's for P12, my friend. That's 8 positions gained from Samuel. Samuel was, of course, doing that magical run that the Kiwi does.
Jordan Malcolm. Oh, White there from Jordan. He's going to be off the line now for the next part of the Porsche curves. A little bit further back. Both fiercely forward teammates, Ayden Young and Beckham. Some good gains for those two. Beckham up into P4, Ayden Young into P6. Michael, of course, ahead of him now. And a fiercely forward sandwich between those two drivers. And it looks like Ayden Young here pressurizing Michael a bit. On the exit of the Ford chicanes, pulls to the right-hand side. And on start-finish, he's alongside Michael. He has the better run coming into the Ford chicanes, into the Dunlop chicane at the top of the hill. Who's going to get it? It is going to be Michael who's going to give that one up. And Ayden Young back up into P5. Both fiercely forward drivers. An incredible opening lap here.
Heading forward, that's what I like to do. And further back there. So Samuel also gained some places in P11. Charlie, for the Triple 4 machines, gained 10 positions. So that's not bad at all for this Heat 1 race. Fortunately, we've had a couple of those drivers that have gone a little bit off the track there. And, oh, Xander Reed's dropped a couple of places here. What's happened to Xander Reed? Just like that. You can see public Xander Reed just up the road. Oh, it's a slow down. Oh, no. Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't see him go off track there. But look at that. That's painful. He's going to have to sit there and watch all those cars whiz by.
Well, that's painful. It's something that is so easy to do on this track too, Biggles. So yeah, very easy to do that. Oh, who's dropped down? Oh no! I think Beckham into P2 too. It's all kicking off now, Biggles. Jeremy Littleton into P1. And we might have an AM on the podium again. It is Beckham challenging Littleton for the lead now. He's in that slipstream in the second part of that Mozart chicane. Pulls to the inside. And he's going to go for a move here.
This is Beckham up to the top of the race there. The new teammate there of Ayden. Showing how to get it done after that qualified performance. And there's a 912 machine. So job done. Right up into the lead of this race. So the one fiercely forward in P1, the other fiercely forward in P4.
It could well be a fiercely forward 1-3 in a bit. In front of those, Jordan Malcolm alongside Jeremy Middleton now going into Mulzon corner. A tricky corner to go side by side through since that little kink to the right is in there. So they decide to take a single file through there. Both run a little bit deep on exit. Xander Reed, however, will be looking to come back through. Was very much the quickest in qualifying, and it's going to look to be more the same here in the race. We've been about halfway through now. Welcoming to everyone.
Really wide coming out of that corner as well too, just in the background, so for the 166 machine. So he's dropped out of P20 now, unfortunately, just by taking a little bit too much to track. But keep an eye on this battle, of course. You can see there of Adam Schmidt, and alongside him is Jonathan.
Oh, they're running side by side through Indianapolis. You have to be so brave to do that, Biggles. This is not a corner where you go, single file through easily. And they took it side by side into Indianapolis. And, incredible respect shown by both drivers.
That's about it. So you see that all along here in the Porsche Cup Series for the Americas division. Round 7. Good, respectable racing in the first heat. They're going to continue this up too, Dan. Don't worry about that. They've got a lot of track to get it done. Times, there's not so much on the side. Just under 7 minutes in the clock remaining, which will get you about 2 laps to 3 laps at best. Probably 2, really. They're lapping around 4 minutes. Or 1 a bit.
Beckham still in the lead here. Little turn in P2 chasing him down, but he has some great pace at the front though, does Beckham. And Lucas caught up to the back of this train now. Ayden Young. Oh, over to the right hand side. Beckham has a slowdown. He picked up a slowdown through the 4 chicanes. And I'm sorry to Beckham. I said he was doing so well. And at that point, he picks up that slowdown. And it's a painful one. Drops all the way back to P4. Behind his teammate Ayden Young. Ayden Young now is going to have to get up into P1 for the Fiercely Forward team. But Beckham, JC, so painful to watch that slowdown. So easy to get. And it's so painful to, give in that slowdown.
Well, it also seems to be the curses of being in P1. So Jeremy here that we're watching for the 619 machine, Jeremy Littleton, you've got to be very careful, my friend. It seems to be the curses are you get a slowdown and you lead the race currently at the moment. So he's probably worried about his mirrors at the moment of Jonathan Malcolm and Ayden Young that are going pretty much side by side as we're riding on board with Ayden Young, looking at his front dashboard bonnet.
They're going to take it side by side into the corner. They are not. Ayden Young is going to keep ahead of Malcolm. Behind Malcolm now, another Fiercely Forward car. Malcolm is being swarmed by the 2 bumblebees, as I like to call them, with how the car looks. And Beckham is all over the Australian. He's going to go for the move, is Beckham. At the front, though, it might be Ayden Young going for a move for the lead, too. He's closing very quickly on Jay Middleton. Jay Middleton defends the inside. And it's going to be, I think, Jordan who's going to hang on. No, he's not. For a second, I thought Jordan had the outside line, which is the better line going into that chicane. But Jordan gives that one up. And it's now Beckham pressurizing his own teammate.
It seems like I feel like Jeremy's is the one breaking all the air, of course, and he's under massive attack from a lot of the cars. And you can see there's 1, 2, Fiercely Forward are going to be towing each other through, pushing each other, perhaps into a P1 and P2 here, if they can make it stick through the corner. And that may very well be job done. And just like that, Ayden Young in the lead of this race with his new teammate, Beckham Jakar. Brilliant, brilliant job there. And Jeremy Little and Jordan Malcolm in your other 3 and 4 positions out looking for a podium, of course. Of course. Wow.
Jeremy Littleton is going to go for it
That's great
again.
working together as teammates, but yeah, see the slipstream will be reversed now. And this is where a chance for Jeremy to come back here and try to steal this one back away from Beckham. As Dan, cast it down. Xander Reed's also trying to make a comeback there on Jordan Malcolm. So he's trying to make that P4 position, and I think he just got it too. Xander Reed on Jordan. Yes, so there's Xander Reed after his slowdown, making his games coming back. Of course, it seems to be with those slowdowns, the pace is still there for the drivers. Using that toe to the best of their ability.
Now, you're strong at the front now when you have 2 Biggles. Since that, now the 2 of you can kind of block the road for anyone else. You're a bit stronger than when you would have been on your own. A little bit further back in the field, there's an amazing battle going on too. Corey Lazarus with Ariel Julian. These 2 are going to take a single file through the Porsche curves. You don't want to take a double file into there, nor through the Porsche curves, really. It's pretty much a single file complex, because if you're offline a bit, we saw how easy it was in qualifying by Xander Reed to run into the outside wall there. Once you're offline a bit, then you have a big trouble. Ayden Young at the front of the field, though, has the fastest lap, and he might well have a slowdown after that. He cut that corner maybe a little bit too much. He's going to put over to the right-hand side. He's not. So that was about inch perfect there for Ayden Young. White flag is out on Circuit de la Sarthe. And it's at the moment a 1-2 for Fiercely Forward. Is Beckham in his first race ever, though, going to overtake his teammate and maybe risk contact in order for him to win his debuting race?
And Xander Reed in the background making his way past Jeremy, so that's just like that. Xander's coming But has Xander got enough time? I don't know if he can catch those two up the road. So he's going to be giving everything he possibly can. The man started on pole position, got a slowdown. Maybe he can put pressure on Ayden Young and Beckham perhaps to get a slowdown themselves. We already know that Beckham's had one. Maybe are they going to work together as Ayden's pushing it like crazy, of course, and he doesn't want to get a slowdown and potentially lose his race win. Samuel Kroll, of course, has done some fantastic work for the Australian driver. 66, sorry, New Zealand driver. My apologies there, second. But 6 positions gained for the 6.6 machine.
Samuel Schwan, one of the biggest gainers in the field. Charlie Pierre is the biggest gainer. He's up 12 well, he started P22 and is now P10, which of course makes that 12 positions gain, but he's might be maybe about 11. To lose one.
Yeah, as the Costa Rican driver of Michael Corello. No, not quite yet. They're going to give it everything they can, knowing it's the final lap there. Can't call you James again. Call you Dan.
Oh, he's round!
That's contact, and that's going to be in the fence. Is it going to be enough to get back on track, Buck? Because there's still a couple of drivers. Get the car up to maximum acceleration and damage limitation. Yes, I think Michael Corello should be okay for now, but just a little bit of a bruised ego, perhaps, after losing a couple of places. It's a little motor race. Xander Reid's really putting pressure on, too. Look at this. He's caught up. He's caught back up. He smells blood in the water. He could possibly get this here. They're going to go defensive. We knew that was going to happen, didn't it, from the Fiercely Ford teammates? What are they going to do? But if they make a mistake and they come together, Xander can get both.
We're 3 wide going into Mulsanne corner. You can't go 3 wide in today, and they are not going to do that. Xander Reid is through from that slowdown he got earlier on in the race. He's recovered back, but can he hang on though? One more straight to go, and it's Ayden Young to the inside now. He will have the inside for Indianapolis. Is he going to hang in there for his teammate to get through too? He is. That's some teamwork there from Ayden Young and Beckham Jaser. Now the inside, you don't want to go side by side through there. This is so close. The margins, you can throw a blanket over them and they would be covered the top 3. To the inside goes Xander Reid into Indianapolis. Is he going to hang on for P1? He is. He pushes Ayden Young off track. Now to the inside though is Beckham, and now he might take the win. This is absolutely amazing, Biggles.
Yeah, still got a bit of, you can see the track map at the moment, still got a couple of sectors to go, mini sectors. So anything can happen. Are they going to work together there? Beckham, Ayden Young still has a possibility of getting this one. Xander, of course, has a fantastic possibility of getting it. Beckham, his first race win here. So there it is. Going through the S's now. Now you said whether or not you want to give me a side-by-side through your Dan. Well, you're about to find out on your pictures.
There you go, Xander Reid off the track. I told it wasn't possible. And Xander Reid has just shown us that. It's a single file complex, and Xander Reid found that out the hard way. Beckham JC is going to make it in 1-2 for the Fiercely Forward team, but not the way they would have wanted for sure. Watch out for that slowdown there on the exit too. That was very close to it. But wow, what a drive from both Fiercely Forward driver. Xander Reid around the outside has dropped all the way back to P5. But it is going to be Ayden Young who's going to come through to make it a 1-2 for Fiercely Forward. And what a drive from both drivers, Biggles. What a drive from Xander Reid too, up into P4 there through the 4 chicanes. Will not be happy about the contact on the last lap, but what can you do about it? It was never possible through there, let's be honest, Biggles.
I think Xander Reid's going to go for it, of course, as a racing driver. He knows it's a heat and you got another one coming up, so it's not too much of a problem. He's in a recovery drive as well, too, so from that slowdown, otherwise we might not have had to see that fantastic action between the Fiercely Ford team and Xander Reid's car. So that's just the beauty of it. And Ayden Young was saying to me the other day, he's like, Biggles, you know, I got a new teammate. Well, you do have a new teammate with Beckham, and you've proven at the moment that working together as a team also means you're winning together as a team.
What an incredible drive from Ayden Young and Beckham. An incredible drive from the two. Waiting on a little bit further back in the field. We could be waiting for a little while here because, well, Brewster has to come all the way around. He is still on the Mulsanne straight. He has to come all the way around.
Well, you might give us a second to go back at, well, we have that little bit of time. That's a luxury of this track. To have a look at where Xander Reid went off there again, Dan, if you have a second, because I think we still have time, yeah. unless the timer clicks down.
We would have time.
Yeah, to have a look, because I want to see that close fight towards the end there, and exactly that, just side-by-side action that we kind of expected. Here it is, right on cue there. So, Dan, explain what happened here and why you don't try this, or why not give it a shot? Well,
you run out wide to the outside here, and you do that naturally because the corner is off camber. You can't take it to. Let's be honest, you can't take it through there side by side, Biggles. Everyone can, but Beckham is not going to give that one up, is he? He has the inside for that corner. You know he's not going to give it up. Rightly so, but also you also know Alexander Reed is not going to give up a fight for the lead and potentially a win on the last lap.
Absolutely
So
not. Yeah.
both drivers went for it. They licked the stamp and sent it. And in the end, it was the driver on the outside, which is always difficult. Here we go. There's that move from Xander Reed to get him up into P4.
Michael made a mistake too as well on that one. You can see poor Michael just approach the corner a little bit differently, and then Xander Reed can make an opportunity to take that position back there. So for Michael, who did finish in P4 for the first heat race. As just two of the drivers to come across the track there. Bruce, I would believe, was really involved in a very early accident there as well too. So that's the reason why our 511 machine is all the way down in P26.
Has also
did gain a position, Bob, so it's not too bad.
No, not at all. Well, he did also only complete. Oh no, he did. He did complete the full 4 laps. But I think he started from pit lane, did he not?
Yeah, I believe so as well too. Anthony Robertson, unfortunately, the driver that just crossed the line, finished in P25. The 717 machine. The Canadian driver as well too. He's lost 12, so he didn't have the best of races so far, but luckily he's got another one, so it's okay.
That one is a bit longer.
Yeah, a little bit more time. And now you've had your dress rehearsals, and we heard from some Michael before too. Like, obviously a lot of people are very busy, and we know that Michael's very busy with his family and his work and all that, and running a league. He doesn't get much time to practice, as he told us, right? And certainly on a track like this, you've only got long laps. So, just sub 4-minute laps. That's, if you're committing yourself to, less than an hour or whatever practice, you're only going to get a handful of laps in.
Well, especially on this track because it's so long. It's you treat it completely different to a normal track. But here is your results of that race. Ayden Young, as we saw, winner together with Beckham. Both driving for Fiercely Forward. Beckham is not a privateer. You can clearly see that. But the both of them working together very nicely. Jeremy Littleton coming through in P3, the Canadian finishing on the podium. Xander Reid, after an early slowdown, recovering back to P1. But all of a sudden, he found himself in a fight with the new Beckham into the league today. First race so far. And or first race today. And, an incredible drive by Beckham, but Xander Reid on the outsides and pushed off track. But you never knew, or you always knew, that it was never going to work into that corner with the both of them giving it absolutely everything. Michael in P5, Etta Jordan in P6, Adam in P7, and Dekusha in P8, Warren P9, Priya in P10, rounding off our top 10, Dan Morera in P11, Samuel Sproul in P12, Corey Lazarus P13, Aaron Julian in P14, P15 for Shannon Monteral, P16 for Alex White, Rob Rodriguez in P17 ahead of Michael Carrillo in P18, P19 for Noah Hanna, and P20 for Emmanuel Oyo. Hayden Bush in P21, Jeffrey Sabo P22, Gary Watson P23, and Stephen Anthony Armand and Calvin Ross rounding off our 27-car grid here this evening. What a drive for race 1.
It should be easier for you to go through those names, my friend. You had 46 of them yesterday, of course, in another league here on the JP Broadcasting Network. And another fantastic milestone has been reached on the JP Broadcasting Network, as you are aware of there, Dan. We finally got the 1K. And even James didn't believe it was going to be possible, did he? That's the reason why we put the bet on. He now has to do a food cast because he loves his food. When he goes to Spain on the 22nd of May, we had so much more time, didn't we? For this 22nd of May. But we'll get back to on that one in a second, because there we go, your grid results based on the reverse.
That's Jonathan Dekusha starting in P1, Adam Schmitz in P2, Jordan Malcolm P3, Michael McLeod rounding off the second row. On the third row, Alexander Reed, Jeremy Middleton. Fourth row, Beck Jesu and Ayden Young rounding off your reversed top 8 grid. We're not going to go through the rest because we know how it's going to look based on the results from last race. Have a look on where your favorite driver is. And then we can go to race number 2. Like Biggles said, a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed, to everyone who's been a part of this journey, because we appreciate all of you. It will be Jonathan de Kusher leading us off into turn 1. Biggles, the lights are on the gantry.
Look at some of the cars in the back there. Go ahead, Dan.
3, 4, 5. And we're green. The lights are out. Some cars in the background starting in the corner, which will not be nice for their start. Jonathan de Kusher talking about a start. Had a very good one. And look who's already coming through, Biggles. Xander Reed, already before we get to the Dunlop chicane. Already up 3 positions. Already up into P2. Adam Schmidt behind that, fighting it off with Jordan Malcolm on the outside of him. And he gets through underneath the Dunlop bridge. So far, Biggles, it seems like we've all made it through turn 1 again. Adam Schmidt in P4, Michael in P5 losing a position. Adam Schmidt, though, not the start he would have wanted, dropping all the way down to P4 from P2. Ayden Young also already up 2 positions.
Yeah, a couple of drivers, unfortunately, at the back there had a little bit of a moment, so a little bit further back. It looks like Jeremy Little has made a little bit of a moment too for the Twisted Racing team after a performance. He's dropped like a stone there, unfortunately. He's gone off the track. So we'll get back to those pictures for that. And yeah, Xander Reed doing what Xander Reed does best, of course. Race starts of all race starts. He engages the clutch where it needs to be engaged, and he hits a loud pedal as loud as he possibly can, and the car agrees. And that's the reason why the man's in P2, putting pressure on the moment there on Jonathan. And then just behind him, of course, is Jordan and Adam and Michael McLeod there, Ayden Young, and his teammate, his new teammate, Beckham, just behind him, P7.
Well, Ayden Young doing a great job together with Beckham again to get through. We saw in the last race how brilliant they were coming through the field. However, coming through the field is Xander Reed is doing that at the moment. He's going to gain a 4th position on this opening lap. And well, that is Jonathan de Kusher back down into P2. Xander Reed up into P1 is now going to get a great exit out of that chicane. However, not as good of an exit as Jonathan de Kusher. He's going to get a run back at him. Let's take a look on board with him.
You've got to put pressure to Xander Reed here. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, you know this, because if Xander gets up the road, he's gone. There's no way of catching him. So you've got to continuously keep the pressure on Xander Reed to make sure if you want to be able to beat him. I mean, before the race you saw, he got a slowdown. It's very possible to get a slowdown as we go into a longer race as well. But if he's so far up the road he can't see anybody, I'm pretty sure he can lift off a little bit and not have to worry about that. So it's important right now, if you want to beat the flying Xander, that you have to keep him honest, don't you? You have to make sure that you remind him that, hey, I'm in your mirrors. We're still here. We're not going anywhere.
Well, he did great to overtake that a little bit further back as Michael McLeod and Ayden Young fighting it out. On the outside now, they're going to take it side by side into Indianapolis. And once again, Ayden Young finds him on the outside. And to the inside now of Arnage. There's almost contact between the two. There is contact between the two. And that was inevitable. A late dive from Ayden Young.
And Michael's going to have to wait for everybody to come back on track as well to go past him. So, hey, you're messing with the boss man there.
I don't know about that one, Biggles. That was a late lunch from Ayden.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, anybody you don't want to take out, of course, is, as you said, like teammates and league bosses.
Oh, side by side in the background through the first part of that Porsche curves. And they take it through there side by side. However, Colby Warren ahead of us. A touch to the wall there. You can clearly see that. And Colby Warren might have some damage from that in the 201 machine. However, a brilliant drive so far from him. And that 201. is down 3 positions. Excuse me, thought he was up 9, but that is Emmanuel Oyo ahead of him, who's up 9 in the 458. A completely red Porsche. As we've had our first lap now. There are your standings on the left-hand side after that first lap.
Well, Ferrari wouldn't like that, just in the background too. I think there could be an overtaken opportunity from Dan Moreno and Noel. And I think Noel did get the job done. Actually, Dan dropped to place that piece 17. And up top there, the sharper end of the timesheets is the new man in town, of course, Jakar.
What a move!
Yeah.
That was not an easy one, Biggles. That was not an easy one. A bit wide on exit though, but it is allowed. You can run all the way on to the end, well, to the end of that curb, really, before you get a slowdown through there. A brilliant overtaking maneuver by Beckham. And, well, he deserves that P3. He has the pace to maybe catch up to the Kusher even. After that, though, it's going to get a bit more difficult because Sander Reed ahead of him is absolutely on it. And he would need, well, I think another mistake from Sander, let's be honest, to catch up that 2 seconds because we know how quick Sander is.
Oh, I don't know. You know, this man's on a hunt. I wouldn't be surprised. He's going to get the job done here. He got a better exit there. He's got the power down. Just obviously set the car up. A nice performance there. Getting done. Remember, he is racing against an AM driver as well, so it's a different class. But then again, you'd have to say probably after this one that Beckham Jakar would probably be classed as a pro league, pretty considering the pace he's doing and the driving, keeping up with the pro drivers. So that's obviously because he's just entered into the league there. That'll be no doubt decided a little bit later on. But he wants Xander Reed because he knows Xander Reed gets too far down the road, we're not going to be able to catch him. Not enough time. So he's on the case. And no doubt Ayden Young, who's in P70's teammate, is on the radio there to say, catch him, Xander Reed. Don't let him run away with this championship.
Ayden Young wants that championship just as bad as anyone. And he maybe needs his teammate to do him a favor here. Ayden Young himself, talking about Ayden Young, is in P7. Ariel Julian in this 613. In the little bit of a retro livery. You can see that by the way the number is shaped on that car. It's round instead of a square. A little bit of a retro shaped car.
Before you had Photoshop back in the 40s and stuff, mate. That hand painted all back then. A couple of other crashes. Jeffrey Seabook has had a little bit of a moment. Very soon too, I guess, Daniel. If we can get there. It's so strange to see a red Porsche, isn't it? Ferrari would just be rolling over at the moment going, what is going on? A red Porsche? That's supposed to be a Ferrari colour. Doesn't worry about Emmanuel. Ojo. He got the switcheroo here. He gets good exit speed.
Oh, wow.
He did. Great driving. He's like, stick that in your tailpipe, Ferrari. Porsche's the new red.
There we go. Definitely giving it some, Emmanuel. In P4 in the AM class, Rodriguez up ahead, or a little bit further up the road, is in P1 in that class. Behind him though, it's all kicking off now. Shannon Monterel on the outside of Hayden Bush. Can they make it side by side through that corner? They're not going to make it side by side through the corner because Shannon breaks very late and gets that move done in a 9.16. Incredible driving by Monterel. And he's up into P12. Next on the list for him is Sojo ahead of him. Let's take a little bit of a look at what happened exactly to Jeffrey Seabock. He went off track. Right about here, he's going to go straight on. Oh no, he's going to lose it on the entry of the corner.
Yeah. Also wanted to see, Dan, further on, there's a bit of an accident scenario, I think, on lap 1 there with Michael Carrero there, Kobe Warren, I think, and Dan Morero. Maybe there was a early incident, of course, from the race start.
Earlier on in the race?
Yeah, on lap 1 there, Michael Carrero, Kobe Warren, I think, because they're all running at the back of the field at the moment. Jeremy Littleton as well, too. I'd be really curious to know because he dropped a ton of places through the midfield. I think he had a massive crash. That was on lap 1, about 157 seconds, I believe, into the race it was.
Well, this was very early on. This was Shannon Monterel.
Yeah, this is, I think there's a couple of cars that get involved here. Because as you'd expect, turn 1, there's a couple of people get turned around.
Ooh, whoa.
We saw this last night, but that's in a whole completely different league, of course. Yeah.
Well, that was that starting crash.
Jeremy was a little bit later on.
A couple of drivers were involved in that. Jeremy Middleton, I think, was involved in that crash. Look at it again, but I think it was exactly the same one. No, it was not. Yeah, it was after.
Oh, yeah, because he's gone. There it is. Yeah, he had a heavy impact in the fence. Bang. And that's unfortunate, obviously, for the 619 machine, losing 16 positions after, you know, a great first battling the top guns at the top of the timesheets. Unfortunately, won't be able to do that at the moment, but he can climb his way back. We've seen that before Xander Reed, haven't we? Dropping places, clawing your way back up. We'll see what's going to happen on that one. Here's this nice battle brewing course for P3 at the moment, but Jonathan can get it done. Further back, Rob Reekers is always in there. We haven't seen much of Rob Reekers Jr., the Evolution Racing team today, but we are now.
Yeah. Moved a bit over to the right-hand side to Colby Warren. But in the end, they both get through to Mulzo Corner cleanly. I was a bit worried once I saw him, well, drift over to the right-hand side a bit. But in the end, they both got through cleanly. Oh, that was a bit of a worry there. Thought they were going to crash to the straight line, Biggles.
These are the best pro drivers and AM drivers in the world for the Porsche Cup, mate. They know exactly what they're doing. Of course, maximum risks, maximum rewards. Hayden Bush and Alex Witt. And Steven, this is the battle you want to be looking at right now. Look at this. We've seen this at the top of the timesheets. We haven't seen it so much down here. But these drivers are saying, hey, Dan and Dean, remember us. We're still in this race and we're still racing our hearts out.
These are about 5 drivers indeed, within about 2 seconds. This is Alex White, Hayden Bush, Stefan Hasselt, Dan Morera and Jordan Malcolm all involved in this battle. That is Alex White, I think, in front of us, getting a bit of a little bit of a snap. I think it was actually Dan Morera who lost that position.
Dan Morera, yeah. And Steven has it. They're going for it too for now. And also, I believe you got Jordan Malcolm that's in the mix. So these are some big names that you've seen in this racing league, and they're all on this track going for it too for now. A little bit dinged up there, you can see on Dan's car.
Oh, another wall touch there. For Steven. 65 machine. Easy to do that, Biggles, there in that corner. And that is also a slowdown, I think, for Steven. So he's going to have to slow down there. He's going to have to give that time up.
Yeah, I was going to say it's easy to crash in the pit lane too, Dan. But won't talk about that.
Oh, this is now about, what, a month ago almost? And you still remember this?
You never forget those fantastic moments in your broadcasting career. Certainly you won't forget it as a driver.
Oh, for sure.
I'll be on the track one day. You'll be able to pick on me, but that's probably the reason why we'll never go behind on a virtual car on a track there. So you can't do it. Maybe. At some point in the future, I guess, the JPB is a fantastically growing, massively growing broadcaster network of a fantastic team. I think at some point in the future, mate, we might have to organize some sort of like little commentator racing challenge with everybody. I think that'd be like a nice little celebrity event to do, wouldn't it? Something special for the drivers to well, not so, you know, our broadcasting celebrities. Yeah, something for everybody out there to pick on us for once, rather than us doing. They can commentate, curse us while we drive.
Why not? We're gonna ask some drivers into the booth. They can commentate. Well, something for the future. Colby Warren here on the inside now of Rob Rodriguez. Is he gonna make that move? Stick. He is in the 201, and he is up into P9 now. Pretty little move there by Colby Warren. And that's exactly what you want to see. Next on his list now, Charlie Piquet ahead of him. That gap, however, 2.7 seconds. You can see it on the left-hand side in the tower. You can also see that the gap that was further up the road between Julian and Ayden Young is about 0.4 of a second. And he might well be able to go for it. Rodriguez, however, is absolutely on him. Oh, a little bit wide there on exit though for Rodriguez. He's not going to get the run he wanted.
As those cones, you could see them on the track as well. So they're your track limits. You don't be running over those or running outside of those. That's when you're going to start seeing those slowdowns. When you do look at if you're shooting in a course and going, why is that car going so slow? That's because you've been told by iRacing that a little bit naughty for the quarter cutting. See those cones there as well too. So I wonder if Michael just went a little bit too wide on that. They'll have a certain amount, won't you, that you'll be able to handle unless you go way too wide to gain an advantage. But you'll be clicking up those two for now. There's one of those things you don't want to be having on your resume or on your trophy cabinet. And Young, I think, did get done on Ariel. He did. So Julian gets passed by Ayden Young. Up at a P5 now. Ayden.
Well, he was there, but that battle has been brewing
he was there.
between the two.
Thought that had switched
however,
for a second.
Yeah, well, they did, because I think at some point Julian was ahead of Ayden Young. However, we're still looking at the battle here for P12 overall. About now 6-7 drivers within, within a tenth of each other, fighting for P12. However, dropping down the order very quickly. Was Hazard is behind him now already, but he dropped down the order very quickly. Went a bit wide, I think, coming into Arnage. Steven Hassett back onto the track again in that 65 machine. And sadly lost the position, but he's still up 11. He's the biggest gainer in the field so far, Biggles. He's gained 11 positions. And well, what more can you ask for than the 11 positions he's already gained? About 12. He's wide though.
Hey, that's on you, Dan. Steven, that's all on Dan. Using his casting curse on poor Stevie. Just as Stevie was talking about gaining the most amount of positions, unfortunately Stevie's now gained 9. I think he's still on par actually. Hayden Bush has also gained 9 positions. So yeah, blame Dan, Steven. But keep that on the track there, mate. Handle that pressure well and bring
Oh no, he has
car
to slow down.
home. Oh no. So that's that's it. Just Dan. Stay out of it.
I take the blame.
Garage later on.
I take the blame. To the inside goes Malcolm on Hayden Bush. That'll be the outside for the Dunlop chicane. The inside for the second part. Very much the favorite side though. If he can keep it on the outside now. Yes, he can. Gives him a lot of room. A little bit too much room there given by Hayden Bush.
Oh, yeah. And just like that, unfortunately, we were talking about the drivers making the most amount of gains, and they've just dropped back a little bit too. Keep an eye out there for Michael McLeod as he's trying to gain some of his positions back up into this race. As Dan's okay. Yeah, H2O there, Dan. You're not agreeing with that Swedish water? That Swedish water should be nice, mate.
Oh, yes, definitely. For sure. Luckily, they can't hear all of that, so... no, it's the Swedish water is absolutely amazing. Sander Reed, though, is also doing absolutely amazing. JC, though, Beckham not dropping any time to Sander Reed, however. Looking
I was
watching back in the field.
I was watching that. It's Beckham, Jakar there was setting some pretty quick times, but every single time he matches, Sander Reed's matching it just by a fraction of a second. So I'm not quite sure it's going to be enough. We'll see about this battle, of course. It's brewing between Rodriguez and...
He's just made a mistake, Biggles. You've used your casting curse on Beckham. There we go. It's 1-for-1 now between us two, Biggles.
No, I didn't. I was complimenting how far. Yeah, okay, fine. But he's got time, but not. He's got it once again. I think the only way to do anything with Xander Reed right now is just put pressure on Xander. You have to remind Xander that you're there. So there's Xander. Unfortunately, Xander, I love you, bro. You're a fantastic fast driver, but we got to keep entertainment here. We want to see wheel-to-wheel racing. We don't want to see you run away with it. So I think he's got to keep pressure on him and see if he'll force Xander into a slowdown. It's probably the only way you're going to get a race win right now from if you're any other drivers behind him. Simple as that. And I say it's not rocket science, but it is motor racing. and it is the PCUP Americas Series.
Colby Warren to the outside for Indianapolis. He's going to keep it there. He's not. You don't want to be doing that too often because we saw with Ayden Young what that can do. And there we go, another example of it. A different line into Indianapolis, and you have to approach that corner. It's so much more different when you have a different line into there. The approach to that corner completely different, and he found out again, Colby Warren. Luckily, he stays out of the wall though. A little bit of damage to the front right of that Porsche. Where that came from,
yeah.
I don't know.
Can you go back to what's happened to Jonathan? I can't pronounce Jonathan's surname. The 139 machine currently running in P6. Now, he's lost a little bit of time. I think he has an off-track excursion there somewhere, Dan. This is the reason why we have Samuel Sproul coming back into play. So I'd have to say that's probably an off-track excursion there for Jonathan.
Oh yes. Well, he's had a little bit of a more. Let's take a look at it.
Oh, that looks like they caught the end of that one, didn't it? Was it? I don't quite see. Or is it going too deep in here? We've seen this before too, haven't we, Dan? Yep,
oh, there it is. And a wall
Bang.
hit too. The aero on that car will not be too happy with that.
Drops a couple of places. But he's got a little bit of a gap there to Samuel, so he's got to maintain that. But obviously we don't know. But Jonathan's going to have a lap or two to figure out how much damage is in there. It's no worth a bit of boxing around here, is it, at all? You just got to drive that thing. As long as it's not crabbing completely, just drive it. He's under a massive pressure too from Samuel as well, P7. So just like that, I think Samuel, we'll see how much damage there is if you do jump up to that battle between P6 and P7 there, Dan. Because I'm pretty sure there's Samuel in the background. Look at the dinged up car. So no doubt Jonathan's under massive pressure here. Just dropped a bit of speed. And I tell you what, you need a bit of speed in Le Mans because these long straightaways are going to be punishing with that downforce.
Yeah, look at the time he's losing. You normally wouldn't gain about 4 or 5 tenths on a straight. That would usually be about 3, maybe 4 tenths, but he gained about 5, 6 tenths there on that straight, Biggles. And that's a bit too much. However, the
It's front end damage, but isn't it? Is he going to be overheating? Because it's not the rear wing, so that's not too bad. But when they don't get enough air intake into that radiator, how's it feel with the steering? Well, you're going straight, so it's not that bad for your steering, but turning into the corners,
what is the first part of the car that hits the air? That regulates the air over the car? It's the front of the car.
You're absolutely correct on that one, isn't it? Yeah, you are.
So now the whole way the air hits the car, it's completely different with how dinged up that car is at the front.
He's still handling okay.
It's okay, but not but not how it should be. And we know usually how precise these cars are. If you change one little thing, everything changed on the everything is affected by it on the car.
Just seeing how it's turning in as well too, because sometimes it does damage your steering a little bit. Looks okay. He's taken the racing line as quickly as he possibly can through there, so he's doing his best to try to hold off Samuel. But further back in the field, of course, we have this massive brew forming for about P14 position.
Monterell to the outside of Bush. He's going to take it. Yes, he is. Into Mulsanne corner. What an overtake by Shannon Monterell to the outside of Bush. And what a drive. Ayden Bush now is going to try and come back at him, though. He's not going to let him go without a fight. And look at the slipstream. Look at the battle. To the inside goes Ayden Bush of Indianapolis. And he might well have him before they even get to Indianapolis with the overspeed that he has. Maybe running a little bit more downforce there for Shannon. That's why he might be that slow in a straight line. However, a great drive from the both of them. Pushes off the track, though. He's going to keep it out of the wall. Yes, he is. Ayden Bush. That wide livery, not as wide as it was before.
Still pretty shiny.
Gravel on
doesn't
it.
look too bad. Yeah, and that's not dinged up, but he did the right thing. Like, made a little bit of a mistake and just kept off the racing line. You know, sacrificed a couple of positions to the drivers, but more importantly, did not destroy anybody else's race and living to see another day, continuing in the racing, knowing, hey, still got 6 minutes to go. I've got a couple of laps up my sleeve. If they make mistakes, I got to capitalize on that. So you like to see that sort of motor racing. We'd like to see Rodriguez again in the wars, as he has been all season long. And right now, he's in the wars with Kobe Warren.
To the outside he went there. Rodriguez is going to try and make his way past again. Rob Rodriguez, he's been up and down the field a bit this evening, but he's very much been up 7 positions in this race.
Yeah, I think for his season, hasn't he? Rodriguez has had moments of brilliance and then just moments of, you know, uh-oh. So that's just the side of drivers and discipline, and also the luck of the draw sometimes, where you are, the cars around you, what happens with accidents and all that sort of scenario. So it's just the evolution of racing. That's what it's called, evolution racing, because you evolve as a driver. And I believe once Rodriguez continues to evolve better, because once again, he's got that moment of brilliance, he's got the pace. He just has moments where, you know, he's caught in the wars. We've seen that before, haven't we? Max Verstappen and other drivers before in Formula One. Yeah, they enter in Formula One and they're all of a sudden
to the best.
Oh, that snapped out a little bit. Who was that? Was that Dan?
Steven. That was Steven Hasselt.
Yeah. It's discipline and all that as drivers, and you know, the more experience you get, the more, you know, control I say you get that. Like once again, talking about Max Verstappen, he was a wild card, wasn't he, when he first entered Formula One, making a lot of essentially rookie mistakes there. But clearly, everybody said, "Hey, this guy's got pace. He's got pace." So once he sorts that out, once he irons out all those, you know, driver disciplines and things like that, then bang, all of a sudden, man's a, you know, 2-time world champion, and that's just all it takes as a race driver, I think. But the key is the brilliance of pace and the driving. Kobe as well too in P9. About that on Rob Rodriguez again, talking about that battle. That's switched to Rude, I believe. So Rob Rodriguez might have got past Kobe.
Yes, he did.
Not quite yet. Well, maybe he's coming to charge back.
Oh, they're side by side now. Talking about Max Verstappen though, Biggles. Max Verstappen, you don't have to forget, was about 16 once he got his first drive in an F1 car. Pretty much a young gun. So usually they're...
Well, Dan, you know the average age of some of the drivers in these cars are about the similar thing? You're right. Yep. Well, they took the gamble, mate. You're going to enter Formula One at a younger age. You gotta phase it out with the big boys and the experience. So that's
sure.
That's your call. Yeah.
But if you're
that's
younger,
what some people were saying. Are you too young? Are they saying, "Are the drivers too young for Formula One?" Well, obviously, at some points, yes. Considering Max, you know, making you know, some mistakes earlier in his career, but as they get older, they prove to be a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, for sure. He was, even when he was young. So he had something that other drivers didn't have. Side by side now into Indianapolis. And Rob Rodriguez keeps it to the outside. This has been a battle and a half between these two.
They're loving the spotlight, of course. They're saying, guys, you know, over here, let's show off our fantastic liveries.
This is Dan Morera, Shannon Monteral and Hayden Bush in a fight. This is for P14. A little bit further up the road, there is the same battle going on between Michael, Alex White and Jordan Malcolm. Michael trying to, well, find his way up the order again after he jumped down from earlier on. 9 positions down on where he started. We saw that incident happen coming out of Arnage. Yeah,
Buddy's found the white flag, my friend. So Zena Reed's the first one to see that one, but for 6.4 second gap over our new rookie driver there, Beckham Jakar.
Did not do bad. If he can keep on to that second place, Biggles, he's had twice his second place in his first 2 races. He's basically had 100% podium rate, which, well, I mean, if every race you enter you get a trophy, then, I mean, I would completely sign up for that.
Yeah, gee, I don't know if you can remember back in the day of any Formula One driver. The chat's been very quiet at the moment, so I guess all the drivers are driving, but I was about to say, remember a year of Formula One where a race driver has won the World Drivers' Championship and not won a single race during the season? Whoa! And that may be the best way to either finish a race or win a race, as both the drivers go on the fences underneath the Dunlop Bridge. What happened there, Dan?
I don't know, just contact on exit. That caused that one, I think. Let's take a look at what exactly happened there between the two. That was a weird one, Biggles, I have to say.
Location, and then it's going to exit back to the pit road, realizing it's... Oh, I still would have kept going, my friend. Is this too deep? And
oh, no, he lost it.
Yeah, he lost it.
Rob Rodriguez lost it on exit.
Rob. Yeah, Rob, and it's a my bad, and unfortunately Kobe had nowhere to go because the car's spinning into him, so... This is what I was talking about Rob Rodriguez, unfortunately, isn't it? Like, he's got these moments of brilliance of his pace, and then little mistakes like that creep in. But that comes down to just continuing experience and your racecraft, and eventually you will get better and better and better, and those little gremlins won't creep in anymore, and you'll be glued to the track.
The Kusher has been passed by Samuel Sproul. Boys from the blackout team.
It took him a bit, I have to say. Very good defensive there from Jonathan for so long with a car that, you know, the police would basically pull you over and say, this is not street worthy at all, my friend. It's not roadworthy. We're gonna tow that car back to the garage. But Jonathan's making it work, and it ain't over yet, but he still has a little bit of time, not a lot. A couple of sectors to try to steal this one back from Samuel, but that's just with that damage. But here we go. Xander Reed, of course. You don't get to see Xander Reed very much during the PCUP America season. Now, you know why? Because he's always leading. He's always out in front, and he's doing the Xander Reed magic.
It wasn't
tricks.
in race one. It wasn't in race one, Biggles. It was not always leading. You saw a lot of him coming back through the field, and well, also making an off-track excursion coming into this exact corner, this time on the last lap. He's going to go into it on his own. No one who can, well, give him a little nibble on the back and maybe send him off track. But, well, of course, unfortunate there from Beckham. Did not do that on purpose. It was just a hard fight, and in the end, Xander Reed came out worse. However, Xander Reed, Biggles, has done everything correctly in race number 2. This was exactly the race that he was hoping for in race number 1. The victory that he did not get in race number 1, he is going to get in race number 2. About 9 seconds ahead of Beckham. Across the line for Xander Reed, and he takes victory once again in the Porsche Cup Challenge America. What a drive from him. Beckham in the background is going to come through in P2.
Dominating fashion, actually, from both the drivers, but Xander Reed, of course, steals the fastest lap. Just a couple of laps ago, too, proving he still has the pace. Rest of the field coming through. To finish out. Yeah.
In P4, added Julian in P5. Here comes Julian. Another great drive from Ayden Young, up 4. Another great drive from Beckham, up 5. So both of that Friesly forward team gaining positions left, right, and center.
And Julian as well too. Ariel Julian, 9 positions gained. So almost the most positions gained, because Stephen Hassett will in P14 will gain 10 positions. But obviously, if you're gaining 9 positions, finishing in P5, you'd probably be close to, I wouldn't say drive of the day, but at that point, it's very difficult to judge driver of the day, isn't it, between Xander and Beckham. Beckham J-Car probably would be your driver of the day overall average as a rookie coming into the series and getting podium results.
Yeah, exactly. And especially as an AM driver, I don't think he's going to be an AM for long though, Biggles.
No,
because what a drive from him. Let's be honest, it's something that we haven't seen done a lot in whatever series. Just coming in and being introduced by the teammate of, and then actually now Ayden Young being the teammate of Beckham at the moment. That's how we've talked about him in race number 2, because it was Beckham at the front and Ayden Young behind him. However, Ayden Young only about 2 places behind him in P4. Everyone almost came across the line now, or has come across the line. And we're waiting on Watson and Lazarus to come across the line. You can just see him in the background there. There's Watson.
Oh, come on, mate.
That's a little bit of an off-track excursion again.
Yeah.
You can do it.
He
Come on.
Wants to pull off and sign some autographs, of course, to everybody out there. That's all those 50,000 fans that are screaming him, but he gets the job done, gets across the line, gets to see Barney.
Barney not even waving the checkered flag anymore now.
Yeah, Barney's left. Well, that's not very often you get to see Barney leave his post.
Well, he's still there.
Barney about that, is he? Did you just say Barney?
Barney's there, but he's not waving the checkered flag
he's not on my
anymore.
screen. I just realized Barney's not. I'm seeing the same pictures you're seeing, and Barney's just a bid. Wow.
There he is. Is Barney going to wave the checkered flag? He is not for Corey Lazarus. Barney just standing there with the checkered flag in hand, not doing his job once
He's
Corey
tired,
Lazarus
man.
came
He's
past.
been doing that all day long here at JP Broadcasting Network. He's like, "Ma, that's it, man. Sorry, my arm can't handle it anymore." Results there for you to go through, Dan.
Well, Xander Reid got the victory. He, well, so deserved in race 1. Headed back in Jason in P2. And Schmitz in P3. And Ayden Young in P4. And Ariel Julian rounding off the top 5. Jonathan DeCushu in 6. 7 Samuel Sproul. Charlie Pierre in P8. P9 for Jordan Malcolm and Alex White rounding off our top 10 this evening. Michael in P11 ahead of Dan Morera in P12. Shannon Montreal in P13. Stephen Hassett in P14. P15 for Noah Hanna. P16 for Hayden Bush ahead of Anthony Robertson in P17. Michael Carrillo in P18 ahead of in P19. We find Jeremy Middleton ahead of Gary Watson in P20 and Corey Lazarus in P21. And Rob Rodriguez in P22, Colby Warren, Emmanuel Oyo, Calvin Ross, Jeffrey Seaberg and Armand Busso not able to finish this race, sadly, Biggles. And what a drive it has been from almost everyone here. Or from everyone. Doesn't matter if you're 7 laps down or if you're winning this race. An incredible drive here this evening on the Circuit de la Sarthe.
Oh, Francais. Yeah, every one of those drivers can have their own little cart on that Ferris wheel if they wanted to.
Why not?
Everybody deserves that and get to see the trackside. Of course, we're going to see if we can speak to some of these gladiators and Centaurians and for a bit of a quick chat. And no doubt, I think we already have someone in for a quick chat.
We
Dan,
do.
if you'd like to start the interview process. After the short commercial break by Blackout Electrical Solutions. No commercial break. We go straight into it.
Well, Ayden Young, welcome into the booth.
Thank you. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we have been amazing. What a spectacle it has been, especially in race number 1 when you came across the line victorious. Tell us all about that race because that was a chaotic one from start to finish.
Yeah, I was just thinking I needed to get my butt up the field if I wanted a chance to start at the front of the feature. So I tried to pick up as many positions as possible, and then obviously when my teammate Beckham got a slowdown, I went in front of him, and then I gave him the draft each time I went for a move, so it helped move him along the order as well. And then we did a bit of teamwork, we did some bump drafting, and then we got up to the front pack, and then obviously Xander got a slowdown, which dropped him down the order a little bit, but he had the pace, he caught right back up to us right at the end, and then Beckham and Xander got by me when they made it 3 wide going into the hairpin at the end of the long back straightaway, which I thought quite literally that they were both going to spin out there, but we all held it clean, and then the fast right-hander at the end of the next straight, me and Xander were side by side, little contact was made, but I did a good job to hold on to that and keep racing with them, and it was just a crazy good race. It was good racing, clean, aggressive, and hard and fun.
For the first time this evening,
go ahead, Dan.
you've driven with your teammate Beckham, and how was that? How did that help you in race 1 to get that victory?
I'd say it helped me a lot. He made sure to push me. He didn't really care about the race win and the sprint, although while he maybe would have liked to get it, he didn't really care as much because it wasn't the feature. He wanted to try and win the main event, and if I had gotten up behind him, I was gonna push him, and then we would switch depending on who was running quicker. but that didn't happen because Michael, when we were going through, sorry, I don't know corner names. I just know the hairpins and all the tricky bits of the track. But the hairpin before going to Porsche curves.
Arnage.
Yeah, Arnage. He lost the rear coming out of the corner, and then I really had nowhere to go. Had I went right, he would have just spun straight into me. So I just had to stay straight. I tried to save him, but then he put the power down a little too hard, and it spun him all the way around. And then obviously they pulled away, so I had to play a bit of catch up after that. I almost caught Adam for the podium. I was pushing hard lap after lap, trying to catch. At the end of that race, my front tires were at 10%. Like, they were gone. They were shot.
Wow.
10%, mate. That's like driving on the carcass of the tire. That's quite amazing. I guess you wouldn't be the only driver necessarily that wouldn't be struggling with those tires towards the end. Oh, really mattered too much at the other day. But you still got a solid P4 position, of course, and a race win in the first heat. And how are you going to be feeling at the moment? The number 1, number 2 driver in the team. First time you had a teammate here in the Fiercely Forward crew.
Obviously, we're not gonna play number 1, number 2 driver. We're just gonna work as a team throughout the rest of the season, try and score as many points as we can, and try and bring home the team's championship if possible.
Well, it's been amazing. One thing I do want to talk about is a little bit of an incident that happened at exactly that corner that you didn't know the name of. Maybe that was the reason the incident happened. No, Arnage, together with Michael, you dove up the inside in race number 2. A little bit of an ambitious one, I would say.
Yeah, I wanted to have a little look at his mirrors, and I backed out of it, and then coming out of the corner, he was out where the marbles are, and then when you get out in the marbles in that corner, I've driven this track a lot with LMP2 and prototypes, so I do know how to drive this track and what corners where you can get really loose and whatnot, or where you can pick up a lot of time and gain a lot on people, and Arnage is one of them. And if you get wide, you get in the marbles, it's very, very easy to lose the rear end of the car and spin around at that corner.
Okay, well, Ayden Young, thank you for making the time to come into the big congratulations on your victory in the sprint race. And,
Thank you.
well, good luck out there in round number 8 next week.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Well, Biggles, that was
Yeah,
a
down. Yeah.
happy Ayden Young,
Well,
I would say.
we'll have to listen to his teammate, of course, and then we'll finish off with Xander Reed. So, yeah. I believe we're right here. So, Beckham, welcome along, my friend. Welcome along to the Porsche Cup Series. It seems like the Porsche cars agree with your Fiercely Forward livery and team. How was that for you?
Yeah, I guess it was a good first start to the championship for me. Just got a slow down in the straightaway, which confused me a little, but managed to bring home a P2.
Well, an incredible race there for you in race number 1, 2. You helped, of course, we've just heard from Ayden. You helped Ayden to that victory to an extent, of course. First time he's had a teammate. And how did it feel for you just coming into the series immediately, you know, knowing that you're up there?
I made sure I first did some practice in the official races, and in the practice, I was P3, so I knew I had some pace, so that helped my confidence for sure coming into this first round for me.
Into race number 2, of course. It was proving a little bit more difficult to catch Xander Reed than it was to keep him behind in race number 1, because he got that, well, 2.5 gap, and ever since then he didn't really look back. At some point in that race, did you feel like you had the pace to catch him?
Yeah, before I got my first slowdown, for sure, I was reeling him in little by little, but we were just so close on times. It was just really hard to just try to catch him, but it was a fun race.
Yeah, for sure. Biggles, over to you.
Oh, no, it was absolutely brilliant. You did, took all the 2s on there, so you got a second and a second. On top of this, you're in the AM class immediately in this one. I'm pretty sure that'll be switched to route soon to put you in the pro class because obviously you're racing along with the pro drivers. Yeah, it would have been great to see yourself and Xander Reed side-by-side action, I guess, at the end of that race too, because you both were just identical, really, for those lap times I saw over and over again. Xander Reed did get the overall fastest lap at 56. He put a banker in towards the end. But at that point, I believe after you had a little bit of an off-track excursion or something, you're just like, you know what, I can't catch him. I'll settle for that P2, which is all you need to do for your team. How are your tyres as well, too? Because speaking to your teammate there, Ayden Young, he said they're about 10% fronts. How were your tyres towards the end?
My tires did fall off a bit. I honestly think it was just from, the reverse grid, so I had to work a little harder to get around some people. But yeah, they did fall off a little bit at the end, but other than that, they were fine.
Well, excellent, my friend. Celebrate that fantastic podium victory on your debut here at the Porsche Cup America Series. Hopefully we'll be back for more, of course. Round 8 will be in Silverstone. Are you going to be coming back for Silverstone?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Well, excellent. Looking forward to some of that. So we need more challenges to bring it to Xander Reed, and we'll let you go celebrate with your team, because the next person we will have up there, Dan, will be Xander Reed, of course. So we need to talk to the championship leader.
Yes, of course, Beckham. Congratulations on your double podium this evening, and well, good luck out there in round number 8 next time.
Thank you, guys.
Well, there he is, Xander Reed. The victory he didn't get in race number 1, that was denied by the man we just talked to. Of course, a little bit of contact with Beckham. He got in race number 2, and what a victory that was. Dominant again. Xander, welcome.
Thank you.
Xander, tell us all about race number 1. You had a little bit of a slowdown, I think, at some point in that race at the very beginning, and then you just worked your way through from that point on.
Yeah, when it first happened, I was like, oh, this ain't good, because now all the way to the same straight, I just couldn't get it away and had to practically stop on the far inside to get it to go away, and then from then I was just dug deep to try to get as close to the front guys as I can, and luckily they started battling, and then had a really good run going into Indy and had a little contact with Ayden, but nothing too bad, and then just a racing incident with Beckham. No hard feelings at all.
No, I think it was always a long shot, especially with the two of you going for it. Well, at the hardest, and then just sending it around the outside. They kind of putting yourself on the penalty spot, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, you're a racing driver. You're gonna go for it. You're not gonna keep back there, are you?
Nope. Gotta do it for every move I can.
There we go. Well, Biggles, over to you.
Yeah, Xander Reed, man, once you're up the road, mate, it's just almost impossible. Bacon was the only one that could match your lap times, and then towards the end there, you just like, I'll put a bank at that. But at 3:56, I believe, was the fastest lap. That's basically almost a second quicker than everybody else, about half a second actually quicker to Beckham's time. Is it good? Is it from you? I mean, dominating this championship, very, very quick driver. Excellent start in race 2 there, made it all up there very quickly. Gained 4 positions, I believe, by the first couple of turns. And once again, just anybody, is it good for you to see more of these drivers coming in to challenging you, or is it just like, how are you feeling just up the road they're going? Is anybody going to bring it to me here? Come on.
It's definitely more stressful when there's a lot of people close to you with Beckham and Ayden and everybody, but it makes it a lot more fun. I love battling, especially in this car. It's really fun when you get a clean battle going. And yeah, I want more fast people to join because I want to learn more of this car, and I love having great battles.
Well, excellent. You get a week to rest here. Enjoy the countryside of France, because you'll be off to the birthplace of motor racing in Silverstone. How do you feel about that track?
Silverstone's actually one of my favorite tracks. I love the flowing way it drives, especially in open wheel cars and prototypes and stuff like that. It's definitely it'll be a good track, especially for close racing.
Excellent. Well, Dan, sounds like Xander will be the one to look out for. Am I getting your name right? Xander Reed? I've told you I'm hopefully getting it right the whole time. Yeah. Xander Reed will be the one, obviously, with a target painted on his back and come into Silverstone time, especially if it's a track that he likes. It's just going to be scary, isn't it, Dan? You're going to have to somehow not let that man qualify on pole and get away with it in both the heat, even in the reverse grids. He's going to be his license to the field. Thank you very much, Xander. You can go celebrate another race victory.
Thank you.
Well, Biggles, an incredible 2 races we've seen. Even qualifying was incredible. About 1.7 seconds at some point was Sander ahead of the field. That got reduced, though, at the end of qualifying to about 2/10. Got a little bit of a wall touch there in the end, did Sander. But in the end, for Sander, was a pole position and a victory in race number 2. And in race number 1, he got very close to that victory. But Biggles, an incredible drive from everyone here, and I'm going to thank everyone, of course, at home for watching, everyone for subscribing. Thank you for the 1K. We all appreciate all 1,000 of you that have subscribed to the JP Broadcasting YouTube channel. We appreciate all of you. Biggles, thank you for being alongside me in the booth. Thank you to everyone who made it possible this evening. Thank you all for watching. Next time at Silverstone, we'd like to see you back again. Until then, though, stay safe, and we'll see you there. Bye-bye.